Assalamu alaikum, my students, my dear students, okay, balke my dearest students, okay. So I'm back with the past paper questions on fractions, okay. So you see that if you want to try them successfully, there are two things that you guys should be, balke three things which you must be very good at. First of all, converting the fractions into the mixed fractions into the improper fractions. Secondly, you must be very good at the tables, and thirdly, uh, you must be knowing how to find the LCM. Okay, so these three things are required: finding LCM, being good at tables, and then switching between improper fractions to the mixed fractions and the mixed fractions to the improper fractions. Okay, now let's start. The first, all these parts I have taken them from the past papers. I have here the past papers book. Okay, so now in this question you have to add up these two fractions. This is 3 over 7 plus 1 over 2. Now the LCM for 7 over 2. Many of you can really find this mentally. 7 and 2's LCM, that is going to be 14. If there is no common factor between two numbers of whom you are finding the LCM, you can simply multiply them. Okay, so there is no common factor between them, so 7 and 2's LCM is 14. Okay, so we want to have 14 as the denominator in both of these fractions. So 7 times 2 is 14, 3 times 2 is 6, 2 times 7 is 14, 1 times 7 is 7. So basically we have used here the concept of equivalent fractions. This is times 2, this is times 2, this is times 7, this is times 7. So that is how I get the 6, and now this is 7. So your answer is going to be, these are 6 14ths, these are 7 14ths. These were two unlike fractions, we converted them into the like fractions, and then the result over here is going to be 13 over 14. Okay, I'll be going to the D part now because I'll be dealing with the addition and subtraction first. This is 3 over 4 minus 1 over 3. Look at this, you have to find the sum of these two fractions. So you whenever you have to sum up two fractions, they should always be the like fractions, but these are not two like fractions. Okay, so we shall convert them into like fractions first. So what can be the denominator of these two fractions, the common denominator? Okay, so that is basically the LCM of these two. The LCM of 4 and 3, again there is no common factor between them, so I can easily say that the LCM is going to be 3 4 times, that is 12. Okay, so I need to have a 12 under this, and I need to have a 12 under this. Okay, so you see that this is going to be 4 times 3 is basically 12, so I multiply both of them by 12. 3 times 4, and this is 1 times 4. This is going to be 9 over here, and here it is going to be 4. So now I can subtract them. The result is going to be 5 over 12. You must ensure that your final answer should be a fraction in its simplest form. Okay. Now, if we come with the E part over here. If you look at this E part, now before I go into the E part, let me erase the parts that I have done. Okay, so I want to erase this, I want to erase this one. Okay, now the E part, it is 7 whole 1 over 4 minus 6 whole 2 over 3. So whenever you have to subtract the fractions first of all, they should ideally be the like fractions. Okay, if they are not like fractions, you will have to convert them into the like fractions. And if you look at this part, these are the mixed fractions over here, so you must convert them into the improper fractions first, and then you will find the sum of these two fractions. There are ways of handling them, but I'm just keeping a simple way of the same method for all of you. So now let's write down the improper fractions for this. So if you recall that 4 times 7 is 28, 21 plus 1 is going to be 29 over 4, and this is minus 3 times 6 is 18, 18 plus 2 is going to be 20 over 3. So now these two fractions which were mixed fractions, now these are improper fractions. Now they are improper fractions, but they are still unlike fractions. Their denominators are not same. We're not happy with this. Okay, so we have to keep them the same. So again, the LCM of 4 and 3, that is, you must know this mentally, that this is going to be 12, okay? So you know that 4 times 3 is 12, 29 times 3 is 12, 3 times 4, and this is going to be multiplied by 4 as well, okay? So I have now 29 times 3 is 87 over 12 minus 80 over 12. Finally, my answer is 7 over 12. So I'm repeating this. We have to change these mixed fractions into the improper fractions, and then you make them like fractions, LCM, equivalent fractions, and then you sum them up. Okay. Now going towards the, if you're clear with this, I just want to erase this. Okay, you can pause it if you want to just go through this. Okay, you want to note it down. Now the part F, you see that this is 8 and 10. Now there is a common factor of 8 and 10, which is going to be 2. So multiplying them together is not a good idea to find the LCM. Okay, so I'm just going to find the LCM on the side over here. This is 8, this is 10, this is 2 times 4, 2 times 5. Okay, this is 2 times 2, this is 5 as it is. This is 5. Sorry, I can still try this with 2. Okay, and here it is 5. So the LCM of 8 and 10, if you look at this, this is going to be 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8 times 5, that is 40. So the LCM of 8 and 10 is 40. Rather than some of the students, they just multiply them together. That is not a good idea. Examiners sometimes they can cancel your marks for writing the wrong LCM. Anyhow, the LCM we have learned that is going to be 40 over here. So we know that 8 times 5 is 40. So we multiply both of them with 5. 10 times 4 is 40. So we multiply them by 4. Okay. Now this is going to be 35 over 40 minus 28 over 40. Okay. So your answer is going to be 7 over 40. Okay. So similarly, you can try the G and H parts. Okay. And I'm just going to do that quickly. So that you can check your answer. This is going to be 37 over 3. This is going to be 48 over 5. And then I multiply this by 5. And I multiply this by 3. This is going to be 5 7 is 35. 5 3 is 15. And 3 18. And this is going to be minus 3 8 is 24. 3 4 is 12. Okay. This is going to be over 15. So you can simplify this. This one is going to be 8 over 3 plus 32 over 5. The LCM is again 15 over here, and then you can complete this. Okay guys, so I have showed you how to add, subtract the questions that I took from the past papers. Now I'm going to towards the parts where we have to multiply and divide. Okay guys, when you have to multiply and divide, again the first condition is that the fractions, they have to be improper fractions. We can't have the mixed fractions over here. Okay, so first of all, this has to be 5 1s are 5 plus 2, this is 7 over 5 divided by 3 2s are 6 plus 1 is 7 over 3. So the first step, you change the mixed fractions into the improper fractions. Now it's a time where you change this division sign into the multiplication sign. This is 7 over 5 multiplied by, and you write its reciprocal, that is going to be 3 over 7. You see that the 7s get cancelled. Okay, so your answer is going to be, this 7 is cancelled by this. So your answer is going to be 3 over 5. Okay, now for this one, again you have to change these mixed fractions into improper fractions. 3 times 2 6 plus 2 is 8 over 3 times, this is 5 plus 1 6 over 5. There is already a multiplication sign over here, so there is no need to write to think about the reciprocals. Okay, so this is 3 1 times, 3 2 times. Your answer is 16 over 5. Now look at this. Though your multiplication is completed over here, okay, but the thing is, you can't leave your answer as an improper fraction. So you have to convert it back into a mixed fraction. So if you can recall, this is 5, 3 times is 15 and 1 is left, 3 whole 1 over 5. That should be the final answer for this multiplication of these two fractions. Okay, so you can try these questions yourself, leaving these for you. These are the past paper questions. Okay, now I want to do this part L for you. It says find the fraction which is exactly halfway between 5 over 9 and 8 over 9. What if I ask that what is a number which is exactly halfway between 8 and 10, suppose? Okay, so you can tell that mentally, like between 8 and 10, obviously there is 9. Okay, but you can find this with the working as well. If you want to find the number exactly between these two, you have to add these two numbers first. Okay, 8 plus 10 is going to be 8 plus 10, and then you divide it by 2. So 18 over 2, that is going to be 9. Now the same thing is going to be done over here for these two fractions. It says we want to find a fraction which is exactly halfway between these two fractions. Okay, so that means, like we did here, we added these two numbers and we divided it by 2 because we want to find, this is a sort of finding the mean. Okay, so the sum of these two fractions is 5 over 9 plus 8 over 9, and then this is divided by 2. Okay, this is divided by 2. So instead of writing over 2, you can write it as this is divided by 2. Like we had it here, this is 18 divided by 2 is same as 18 over 2 or 18 divided by 2. So these are two like fractions. Their sum is going to be 13 over 9. And you change this division sign into multiplication, this is 1 over 2. So this is 13 over 18. The fraction which is exactly between 5 over 9 and 8 over 9, that is going to be 13 over 18. Okay guys, I have shown you the solutions of some problems on fractions from the past papers. You can try them. If you have any problem, you want me to show you the solution of any question, do let me know. Okay, till the next video, Allah Hafiz.